guys, Ralph here, and welcome to True Power Trumpet Fitness and magnificent Monday here in Connecticut. It is a beauty. This is getting up a little late, but that's okay. Better late than never. And I told you I had some cool news for you, and you saw the thumbnail. I told you, I deliver with the cool news, don't I? Anyway, I'll explain in a minute. I have not played yet today. It's been a crazy day business-wise. So let's see what we got. Anyway, hellacious, as I like to call them, hellacious double C's. It's a good adjective, don't you think, for my double C's? Hellacious double C's, and right down into Arbin, the lyrical part of number 8 of the characteristic studies. Anyway, you saw the thumbnail. This is the brain trust of my pal, Joe Avella. Okay, now he is a older gentleman, about my age, is a comeback player, I could guess. Jerry wanted him to get back to playing years ago. Very, very good, dear, close friend of Jerry's. He might have even known him longer than I have. He might have. But anyway, he has studied with me. As Jerry health went downhill a little bit, Joe came over to the True Power and started studying with me. He lives down in Puerto Rico, so it's a lot of Skype and all that sort of stuff. But he is also the one, my paisan, who is translating the True Power to the Max book into Italian, which is just an enormous, enormous thing. As we get it translated to Portuguese and Italian, I told you, Jerry's stuff is going worldwide. But anyway, this was his idea to send me a certain amount of money every month to pay for kids' lessons that couldn't well, I shouldn't say kids. We'll get to that in a second. Pay for anyone's lessons that couldn't otherwise afford it. And I was so moved by the gesture, I decided to match the funds. So somebody is going to get weekly lessons into the near future. Okay? Now, there's a couple criteria, and I'm opening this up to anybody. I talked about it with Joe at his lesson, it was last week sometime. I don't remember. It was last week. And my first reaction, coming from my public school band director background, is that give it to some kid, okay, who couldn't otherwise afford it. And Joe said, why limit it to a kid? He's got a good point. It'd be a comeback player that couldn't necessarily afford it. It could be somebody in the middle, maybe a college kid that wants to make music a profession and go into it that way. It's open up to anybody. Anybody in True Power Land that wants to, sounds like something they would like to do, a weekly lesson with myself. I will provide the 1SB mouthpiece. That would be part of my donation as well, as if you don't already have one. And that's part of the criteria. Now, I do have some criteria. Okay? Now remember, this is the Jerome Callet Memorial Scholarship. Okay? So needless to say, whoever gets it has got to get on board 100% completely with Jerry's principles and ideas. And if that is not something, I don't really agree with the mouthpiece, or I don't really, the tongue, don't bother. Don't bother. It's not going to work. If that is something that you'd like to do, please get in touch with me at the email down below and explain your, I'm not going to give you an application or anything like that, but explain your need and how you can use it and how it could benefit you going forward and all that sort of stuff. Now, here's the deal. There has to be need, okay? There has to be need. I live in a very, very wealthy section of Connecticut. In Fairfield County, southern Fairfield County, not necessarily Norwalk per se, but Greenwich, New Canaan, Wilton, Weston. I mean, just money. And you can't believe some of the wealthy kids that come here for lessons. And I'm not the point. But the point is, I mean, if your parents are dropping you off in a Maserati and a Mercedes and the newest Tesla and all that, which many of them do, guys, you don't need a scholarship. Okay? I mean, pure and simple, it should come from need. So that's number one. Whoever you are, it has to be need-based. Okay. Now, it does not have to be a student, a young kid. But if it is a young kid, I need somebody that is serious about the trumpet. It's not like, well, I'm trying it this year and I'm thinking of maybe going to the saxophone. No. You played a little bit, you love the trumpet, and you want to continue. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean you have to be a professional, that you want to be a professional musician. Not at all. Not at all. One of my favorite students who I gave free lessons to since he was in middle school, right up through high school, is now a lawyer. He still plays a little bit and enjoys it, but I would do that again. He appreciated every single thing he got, and that is part of it. You have to understand a little bit about Jerry was all about and realize that what you're getting here is a pretty cool thing, and treat it as such, no matter how old you are. Now, kids, you do have to practice a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, as you know. This whole thing about it is the practice is not just slaving away hours and hours a day. No, but you do have to practice. You do have to be in your school band, okay, or a youth orchestra or something like that. And that is it. Now, I have had many instances over the years that I take this young kid and get him playing like crazy, just killing it. And you get to the school band, either middle school or high school, and the band director doesn't like the mouthpiece. Guys, I'm not putting up with this. So for that reason, if you are a school-age student, okay, middle school or high school, I'm going to expect a recommendation from your band director. Okay? Now, I know there are lots of band directors that are listening to this video. If you have a student that you want to recommend, absolutely 100%. It doesn't have to be in Connecticut. You know, Skype is a beautiful thing. Okay? So absolutely recommend. And you as band directors, I know you're going to embrace the whole true power philosophy, and that should be no problem. Okay? Now, those are school kids. Let's say college kids. Okay? Sake of argument. You know, I like the Penn State Band. If you want to play in the Penn State Band and you don't want to be a great, music teacher or anything, that's fine. That's fine. But once again, you have to. You have to practice, and you have to play the 1SB mouthpiece. Have to. Okay? Now, let's say you are a college student that's at a conservatory or college or whatever, and thinks that they want to make music their profession, either as a band director, music teacher, or even both as a player or something like what I was doing, the combination of the playing and the teaching. If that's what you want, fine. Sign yourself up. Absolutely give it a shot. But, and it's a big but, if that is the case, I bet you, I will expect you to use this as a platform to preach the Callet system to your students as well. Okay? If they can't afford the mouthpieces in your school, I still expect them to spit buzz. See what I'm saying? There's a responsibility here. There's a responsibility here. If we are going to walk down this path with you, I expect something in return. All right? Now, let's just go professional. You're having trouble with your chops? You're scuffling a little bit? I'm not sure if this is for you. A professional, should be able to take this in a different, it doesn't need lessons every month, every week. You should be able to get a lesson here or there. So I'm going to rule out professionals. How's that? Professional players. Comeback players. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you're in the community band and you want to play first trumpet and you're playing third and you've never played a high C in your life, absolutely. If that's something you'd like to do, absolutely. But like the college kid that's going into it, I expect you to preach the gospel of Jerome Callet. True power. Okay? I think that's fair enough. I think that's fair enough. And whoever feels they want to do it, I can't wait to get started. I think this is a wonderful thing. When I pick that person, whoever it may be, I am going to expect you to keep in touch with Joe Avella. Not a big deal. But every once in a while, just shoot him an email. He lives down in Puerto Rico. Just shoot him an email. I was chosen. I can't wait to get started. I'm now up to a high F after only a month, whatever. Okay? It was his idea. It was his love of trumpet. It was his love of Jerry and everything that spawned this. And along with this channel, I am absolutely humbled and privileged to start this and think that this is going to keep this going further. I already told Yumiko about it. I haven't gotten in touch with Toby yet, his son. I will. And that's that. So anyway, if you're interested at all, you yourself, or one other thing. I have lots of people from different countries, and I would love to involve you. But unless you are willing, if you can't speak fluent English, you need an interpreter with you every single week that will do it. Okay? Otherwise, it's just wasting our time. All right? So anyway, eat and drink your fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power. I love you all.